Austin and Colin. Welcome to the latest with Maya. Um, Austin and Colin are a comedy pop duo who have gone viral on social media multiple times with their comedy songs. I am so happy to have you on my show. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you, Maya. That's a great intro. We are honored to be here. It is our
I
pleasure.
am I am so excited. This is one of the best events of the year. Let me tell you.
Absolutely.
I got a question for you off the bat. How did you find us? Did you see one of our videos? What how did you
Yeah, I found you on social media.
Mhm.
Yeah, I found you on Instagram. So,
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, we're so glad you found us.
Yes.
me too. I love watching your videos.
Oh,
Oh, thank you
thanks.
so much. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So who has had the biggest impact on you professionally?
Wow,
Mm.
that's
I
a
know.
tough.
I did watch one of her Instagram clips, Colin, and I'm like, I feel like she's gonna ask us some questions that we haven't thought about. This is
I
this is
know.
good. She's digging deep early. Uh,
That's good. I like that.
I'll start by saying, the way that Colin and I have known each other for 16 years. I heard him post one of his beats on Facebook back in 2009, and I DM'd him and said, "Dude, that's a cool beat." And we made a song because we both drove minivans in high school. Obviously the coolest kids at the school. That was satirical. But anyway, so Colin's always come from this production side, and he's just, in my eyes, one of the best producers out there. And so he produces all of our music himself. And then I come from a little bit of the harebrained kind of creative ideas, songwriting side of things. And then we both have skill sets that cross over in all of those realms. So we're kind of this wild match. So we might have, some of the different things that we maybe grew up on, but together, I think Colin and I both bonded over things like the brilliance of Lonely Island, if you remember those guys from SNL, back when they came out with I'm on a Boat. And, Bo Burnham was also a kid at that time coming out with some of his stuff. And then we also really appreciated EDM music and some of these guys like Zed and even like Macklemore and things like all these different. It's almost like a wild combination of these artists in terms of at least our inspiration in the kind of style of music and stuff that we do. Colin, would you want to add to that in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, and I think I'll even switch it up slightly to this answer. I think my parents influenced me a lot professionally. Maybe this is a different type of answer, but I feel like I'm very thankful that my parents supported my dream and Austin's parents and our dream to do something very outside of the box because I think the traditional route is to go to college and get a career doing something like a 9 to 5 or doing something normal, and we always wanted to do something against the grain. So we out of college, we decided to start a video production company, which eventually led to us doing fun videos and things like that. But we've always tried to stray away from the regular path. And I was just thinking about recently, my dad and my mom always tried to say, like, you're good at these things, try to pursue them. Don't, and there was a point in my life where I was like, I'm just gonna kind of, take a break from the music and stuff like that. And I decided, he said, you gotta keep doing it. They always supported me in that way. But
And
yeah.
I'll add on to that finally with just the inherently, I have always felt kind of a calling by God to kind of do something that is making people smile, something that is I just have that passion inside me to perform and to collaborate in ways that are outside of the box. And so it's just kind of felt like when Colin came into the picture and we both kind of started this journey together, that there's just been a reason outside of almost what you can explain in terms of just the way that we work and operate together. And so it's been a collective mission over the past like 16 years to try and bring that to the world in a way that does bring kind of like joy and positivity and hopefully actually people enjoy the music and the songwriting and the creativity.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Um, so who has had the biggest impact on you as a person?
Hmm.
Hmm. As a person, well,
Whoa.
that's a great question.
Well, I think
Hmm.
by the end of this interview, it's going to be you, Maya, but I can start with
Yeah,
something else. Let's
yeah.
see.
Um,
My I don't want to have a cop out answer, but Colin mentioned it last time. I mean, my obviously our parents are a big forming factor in who we are and how we see the world. And my mom was always super creative with the way that she would help me in my school projects. And my dad was always he started kind of like a nonprofit that goes to Haiti and helps underprivileged children. And I was kind of drug along to this third world country as a kid, and it at least took me out of my bubble that I was in in America, and kind of opened my eyes to just experiencing, I think, a lot of different things that maybe some of us don't get to experience as a kid. And so um, that combination was just inspiring to me. I watched my dad start something from scratch that was doing something good for the world. And then my mom was always super creative, and both were always super supportive of me and my creative uh, adventures. And we're a very performative family at the dinner table too, in terms of the way that we elaborate stories and things like that. And so I guess I'll go with my parents for that one.
I know. I just answered that last question with my dad, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna say it again. Ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to make music, and every step of the way, my dad did whatever he could to support me down that path. So whether it was buying a drum set when I was a kid and putting up with me playing the drums and shaking the whole house 24/7, like he was so excited to see me pursuing my passions. I got really into videography and camera stuff when I was a kid, and he said, "Let's get you cameras. So I'm very thankful and blessed to have parents that supported me in that way. And then, they're like, you need to go to college. But I said, I don't really want to get a normal degree. So I went to Belmont University, and that's where I got a degree in music business. And uh, I almost quit that because I was lonely and I wanted to move back home. And my dad said, you got to give it another shot because I know you're talented at this. I know you're good at this. So they always steered me on the right path. And I'm just thankful that they have always supported me and told me to pursue the things that I'm gifted and talented in. And for those people out there that don't have parents that support them in that way, I would like to say to you, uh, do what you're passionate at. Don't let other people tell you that you can't do it.
And that Colin will
Dream.
adopt you.
And I'll adopt them. Yes.
I love that. Yeah. So I am pop culture obsessed, and I go in stages of shows that I cannot stop watching.
Hmm.
Is there a show that you are currently obsessed with?
Hmm.
Colin, you just answered
I
in
know.
the
Well, I just talked about this with Austin. I was never like a huge Stranger Things fan, but I just started the latest season and I'm like, it's pretty awesome. I gotta admit, like I kind of wrote it off after the last season, but I started the new season and I'm like, I'm hooked again. It's fun, it's great. And I watched 4 episodes last night with my girlfriend. We were only gonna watch one, but I said I can't stop, and we stayed up way too late. And so if you haven't seen it yet, it's pretty fantastic.
Colin and I were also, and Colin even maybe a little more so than I was, heavily into the Severance, series, and the way that, because we kind of have a passion for good storytelling and cinematography, along with just kind of, really good shows that build tension and things like that. And so that one did that really well. I'll also say I'm like super into finding obscure topical documentaries that basically go deep into a subject matter that's like a whole new world that I didn't know about. So, you know, it could be anything. So I'm always feverishly searching for a super interesting documentary, and I've watched a lot of documentaries. I was actually just watching, and I'm still watching. They actually did a documentary series, calling on the and Maya on the Comedy Store in Los
Oh
Angeles,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
like this. I've always known it was like the most iconic comedy club, but this is all the comedians that came through there and the story behind how that store is and what it came to be. And it essentially is literally like the training grounds for some of the best comedians in the world. And so you see, like even no matter how big the comedian is, they'll still come back and play and perform at the store for
Yeah,
like 50 people and
amazing.
anyone can get in, and they still do an open mic night where you have to sign up and there's like 300 people and they only pick 16 people, and then those people get 3 minutes, and like
Wow.
it could be, most of it's awful, but if you're the right person at the right time, it could change your whole life. So
Wow.
I like going deep and learning about how, ecosystems work. That could go the same way. I've watched a whole documentary on people who groom prize chickens for the state fair. So I mean, it can go anywhere.
Austin's going to direct one of these documentaries or shows one of these days because he has a fascination with microcultures, or what would you
Yes.
what do you call them? Fringe societies, maybe.
Yeah, also just a
Um,
curiosity in humans and why we do the things we do, or, why is Maya obsessed with pop culture in the way that she is? What drives that? And what does she get out of it? And what does she feel like she, gets to experience in life because of it?
Oh, wow, I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been recently obsessing with two older shows, but I've been watching Franklin and Bash
Okay.
and Ugly Betty.
Ooh,
yeah,
Um
that's a good one.
so I've been obsessing over those recently.
Ugly Betty.
yes.
That's a classic.
Hey, Maya, before you get
Yeah.
to your next question, you sent us an Instagram message. That's all we know about you. But, it sounds like you have a story that is, in my opinion, no matter what we say, probably much more compelling than our story based on what it sounds like you've been through. I know it's probably a long story, but can you give us a little bit more on at least, what you've been through and where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I'll think of how to shorten it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was diagnosed with a metastasized brain tumor right before I turned 3.
Oh,
And so I had surgery and 2.5 years of chemo. And when I was 18, I was diagnosed with recurrence and went through 6 weeks of radiation.
Mhm.
And now I'm being closely monitored.
Wow.
okay.
So,
Wow. How has that life experience um, affected the way that you view everyday life in the world?
um, I was not expecting these
No?
questions. Um, uh, I mean, it's had a, I mean, it's really changed everything. Like always, like when I wake up, I never know how I'm gonna feel. So,
Hmm.
like, this weekend was like a really, not great weekend. But I don't know, it's my mom has influenced the way heavily influenced the way I see the world. So
Mhm.
it's like no matter she taught me and my sister when we were younger that no matter what situation you're in, there's always something good to be found.
Yeah.
Um so, like this weekend, I was feeling really bad, but we had family in town, so like I got to spend time with them, which was really fun.
Yeah.
Um, had a couple pajama days, which was nice too.
Yeah. That's
So,
that's great.
yeah.
I'll give you one. I know you weren't planning on this, but I gotta give you one more follow-up question. So based on all that, and by the way, thanks for sharing that. I I can't even begin to act like I could relate to what that would be like. It just sounds like something that no one should have to go through, and it kind of it hurts me that you had to go through that, especially at a young age and then leading up to now. But if you are probably around a lot of people who, just because most humans in the world do this, that are stressed about things like their job that day, or you know whether what someone else thinks about them based on a text they said or something they did in public, basically trivial things. Consistently, we all are, as humans, stressed about these things. I know I am. You've been through something that I think probably you've been able that provide some perspective to all that. What would you kind of say, you know your perspective is on what is worth giving your attention to, or your worry, or your anxiety, or your stress? Or what would you say to those people? And I'm honestly asking you to say it to me because I think I've got something to glean from it.
Um, I honestly don't know. Because I've learned, I mean, I always try not to like be like, well, why are you stressed about that? Like, you should,
Yeah.
like, because I know everybody has a different kind of level of
Right.
stress. So, like, I, like, somebody tells me they're stressed about something, I can, like, be like, okay, like, I can see why you're stressed about
Right.
that. Or I'm sorry that, um, you're stressed about that. I, I'm sorry, what was the question?
No, no, that's a fine
That's
answer.
good. Yeah.
Honestly, you show with the way that you obviously have a super positive outlook on the world, and I feel like your example is that light that everything's going to be okay, just based on, you have the option to, you know, not be doing what you're doing, which is sharing, you know, conversation with people, connecting with people, and bringing more light into the world. And you're doing that. And
Yeah.
so that's fantastic. I was just curious. The question, I guess, was just like, you know, is there any like life motto or creed? I know that you've got what your mom gave you, which is find the good in everything, which honestly, that is fantastic. But are there any other kind of, I guess, life lessons that you tell yourself on a consistent basis that you've gleaned in your life?
Um, uh, Honestly, I mean, I feel like there's a lot, but right now I can't think of any.
That's totally okay.
So,
You can email us if you think of anything. I just
okay,
felt like I wanted to ask that. And again, sorry to put you on the spot, but I
that's
would love
okay.
for you to email us with anything in that, because like I
Yeah.
said, I'm curious about people and what drives them, and you have a story that is certainly, you know, impactful to us, and so I'd love to hear that.
Thank you. Yeah, I will email you if I think of anything else. So,
Let's
Perfect.
go.
yeah. Um, yeah, so if you had a warning label, what would yours say?
Oh, that's a good one.
Warning
Oh my
label.
goodness.
Wow.
Oh, how long is the label?
I know. Don't keep candy away. Um, might become too attached. Um, uh,
Yeah,
keep snacks away. You know,
mine would be, you know, I feel like I'm kind of like that Bean Boozled game, It's a lot of fun to be around, but you never know what flavor of bean you're going to get. Could be anything. That's
yeah,
part of the excitement of it, and potentially some of the stress,
could
because
be sock flavored, could be.
yeah, you might get toothpaste one day, but some other days you could get a beautiful, unexpected sour watermelon.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the warning label for Austin and Colin is um,
Um,
warning,
you might smile.
and you might be scared as well.
You might go, huh? And then
We're gonna
Yeah,
type
I
out
think
this
it could
warning
be.
label.
What'd you say?
The long warning label so
Long
far.
warning label. Um,
You might smile, you might be scared, you might go, huh? And then we got to end it with one line, Colin.
um,
But you'll leave knowing that you experienced something that you've never experienced before.
wow, leaves you with a warm feeling inside.
I love those.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are great warning labels.
Nope, they were all one, Maya. It's all on
Oh,
one warning label. It's
it's
just
oh,
a
like this.
really
It's
long
like
warning
this long.
label.
Yeah, it's like the.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's a great, really long warning label
Yes.
then. Yeah. Um, so, do you have a specific content writing or a filming process?
Let's see. It usually starts with an idea, a concept, and then me and Austin a lot of times go our separate ways where I'll start creating a music bed for the song that we're going to be working on. So I'll be working on an instrumental or a beat while Austin is cooking up some ideas in his head and he's making the lyrics, a lot of those things. We might share melodies and back and forth. And then once we have that all down, we record it in my place, usually in my closet,
Mm.
uh, because it sounds better acoustically in there. And that's a pretty easy process because we've been doing this for 16 years at this point. And then we'll go film, and that could be anywhere from an hour-long film shoot for a simple video or a week of filming for more intricate videos, like a Welcome to Los Angeles video that we did recently. And then either of us will edit the video, and then I typically do the posting on social media, which is a process in itself, which includes captions, which can be annoying, and all the descriptions and hashtags, and then we gift our piece of content to the world, and that's in a nutshell. But I'm sure Austin has more input on maybe the.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'd say I'll just speak to the creative side. We're always just trying to find the angles that, again, thinking outside the box, what are the things that people probably think or feel, but we haven't really seen be said, or at least in this style of content? How can we take something and bottle it up in a way that they've never seen it before? And so this kind of the music videos that you're seeing on our social media are like, you know, things that we think people will connect with, laugh with, all that kind of stuff. And then we take it and we bottle it up and make it kind of the Austin and Colin special piece of content. And we do it, through that process kind of that Colin mentioned. But it's kind of an ebb and flow, very, you know, seamless way that we've just kind of built being together for this long. It's kind of a natural way that we just go about it.
Yeah. And what to Austin's point about coming up with concepts back in summer of 20, was it 2024, when all the cicadas came to Nashville, we were like, everybody, the cicadas, about cicadas. You ever seen like cicadas where you live? Are you familiar? Uh,
Yeah.
they're really loud bugs, and they took over Nashville, and there was like 30 days where they were just like everywhere. And so, we were like, we have to make something about cicadas because everybody's talking about it right now, but we have to find a creative angle to talk about these cicadas in an interesting way. So we decided to make a parody of LMFAO's Sexy and I Know It to and we made this song called Cicada on Your Shoulder because these things will fly up and get on your clothes and freak you out. And that was I think our most viral video, maybe potentially. Yep.
Bucky's is probably more viral now,
Yeah.
but close.
It got like 10 million views because people were like, you made such a funny angle on the experience of getting a cicada on your clothes. And it'll make a lot more sense if you see the video. But
Yeah, we
um,
take whatever should be like, pretty standard for most people, and we take it like times it by 100 is what we try and do. Just how do we elevate this to the most, ridiculous format possible, no, no matter what way that is, whether it's musically or songwriting or the comedy in it.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So is there a song that you are currently obsessed with?
Hmm. Hmm.
good question.
Hmm,
I
that
have to
is a
open
good
my
question.
Spotify briefly to make sure to
Hmm.
you know I'm gonna shout out my boy Joey Pecoraro. He just
Mm.
put out a new album. He not a specific song, but look up Joey Pecoraro. He does some really cool jazzy beats that are very chill. They make you feel relaxed, calms down my very overstimulated nervous system. He makes great stuff. That's my
I'll shout out a just a guy here from Nashville called Ben Rector. He just songwrites about the life experience, his life experiences. I think there's one of his songs that really kind of drew me into listening more of his music was a song called The Men That Drive Me Places, and it was literally about him experiencing Uber rides and his brief conversations with the drivers and kind of just an introspective look on like why am I the one that gets to be up on stage while these guys are actually the ones that are kind of, living a life worth praising. And it was just a really creative way to do that. So I've appreciated his songwriting. So I'll shout out that Ben Rector, The Men Who Drive Me Places.
I like that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm writing both. I've listened to Ben Rector before, and I really like him. I wrote down Joey Pecoraro to listen to him because I haven't heard of him before. So thank you for the
Perfect.
recommendation.
Yes. Colin,
That's
she was listening. She said that to MGK when I hopped on, and
MGK.
yeah,
Nice.
and she
Cool.
was going to go to his show, but she can't now, so she was just binging his songs. And Colin and I remember back when MGK was like just coming out of Cleveland because we were in Cincinnati, and this was like kind of back when he was just popping off in his kind of
He's
really
like a
like
rapper.
grassroots rapper, like hard rapper Cleveland days. I remember that. It's been
Yeah.
interesting to kind of see him bleed all the way up through the pop culture ranks.
Yeah, now he's doing pop punk kind of stuff
Yep.
now. It's just very interesting.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been listening to just his music on repeat
Mm.
since his I've always loved him, but since his newest album came out, Lost Americana, I've just had that album and all his music on repeat. So
Uh, Maya, I don't know if you know this, but we have our content that we do on Instagram and stuff, but we also have original music on Spotify,
Mm.
including some songs like Move It, which is our rendition to I Like to Move It from the show or the movie Madagascar. But I think you'll appreciate the twist that it takes. And we've got several other songs on there, so we could use the streams if you get if you want to get addicted to listening to those too.
yes, I definitely will. Yeah.
Perfect.
All right, great. We've got one more person, Colin, that's going to stream our music, so we'll get
Yep.
some
Hey, it's gonna
significant fractions of pennies for those streams. So
it's gonna make all the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I will continue listening to your music right after our conversation. So
let's
Perfect.
go.
Perfect.
yeah,
Put it on repeat, please. Yeah.
Yes.
yes, I will.
Like and keep it on while you're sleeping. Just let it
Yeah,
run
Okay.
just
through
let
the
it play.
playlist. Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, I will. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, one song, another song that I've had on repeat lately is so MGK released with the Jonas Brothers a remix
Oh,
of his song Cliche.
Mm.
He just released that, so I've been listening to that on a loop.
is remixing with the Jonas Brothers cliche?
Mm.
Just a thought. I don't know if it is or not, but I was just I'd like to
And
no.
I don't know, maybe it's not, it seems pretty unique of a
It
remix.
could be
Maybe it's not.
Yeah, I feel like the opposite. Remixing with MGK would be more cliche.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, just a thought.
Yeah. Um, so, what do you find to be the biggest challenge with continuously creating content in the age of social media?
Mm, these are great questions.
Yeah. I think it's interesting how the world has shifted from almost like a quality standpoint to a quantity standpoint, where like back in the day, you'd work really hard on your videos and maybe put out fewer videos, but you'd work for a long time on them. And now in social media, it's kind of like you need to be so consistent. You need to be posting all the time. And so a lot of times there's just um, a slight burnout that can come from having to post all the time and trying to keep the ball rolling. And, you can't just post one video a month. You got to find a way to continue to keep your audience engaged. So I think one of the biggest challenges is just like always having to put out new ideas and concepts and songs and things. And it can be exhausting. So, we found that it's important to take breaks, mental breaks as well, so that you don't get totally burnt out. But,
Yes.
but I do that, I think that's been just one of the hardest things. But sorry, what do you go ahead,
No, I was
Austin?
just gonna say, I think one of the hardest things to learn, and it's taken a lot of time to get, better at this, and it's not completely there, but it's it's a vulnerable thing to kind of put your art or your content or your face or whatever it is out to the world. And in today's, algorithmic world, it could go to anyone. Anyone. It's not just your followers. It could be pushed out to anyone, even everyone that you weren't intending to see it. And so it's a vulnerable thing to do. Um, and I think a lot of creators, when you start out, you really it can be a really hard time to try and separate your identity as a person, who you are, and your value, separating that from the content that you're putting out and any response you're getting to that. And I say that just because, in some ways, especially if you're putting out something that's so deeply close to you, some ways it's almost impossible to do if you're doing that. But the way that the way that social media is designed is not like in the interest of, you know, you just, your content being shown to only the people who want to see it. Anyone can see it. Anyone can say anything, no matter what emotional state they're in, no matter what. So you can catch strays from anyone's emotional, situation at the time just because they want to lash out on somebody and you happen to come across their screen. And in that moment, that comment that random person in their mother's basement who is a sad individual, should have no bearing on your life. But, as humans, sometimes it's hard to read comments or things and try and not think, wait, maybe that is true and whatever. And so you really have to form this strong kind of basically like a separation between the content and then like who you are, and you guard who you are with the people around you, the people who love you and the people that you love, with your hobbies and communities and things outside of content. And for me, it's my faith as well. And you really have to work on, making sure that is solidified. And then this content, whatever happens is whatever happens. Now, thankfully, we haven't had too many experiences that have been negative. However, we have had some along the way. But I just know that, you know, even the amount, sorry, I'm rambling, but like even the amount of views you get has no bearing on whether the content was good or not. Sometimes the best content maybe just didn't have the right 3-second hook on the front, and so people swiped and that didn't get any views. But that might have had nothing to do with how beautiful that piece of content was. And so it's a backwards kind of system out there, and people are sometimes posting thinking it's linear. Whatever the response is, that is what that was, and that's just not true. Like if
Yeah,
it's from you, it's genuine, it's creative, it is good, but you might not get that response from the outside world or from social media, and so you have to know who you are and have a community around you who can help build you up. And
yeah,
that can't be done on social media only.
yeah. I certainly have experienced, probably a little bit more so than Austin, some of the some of the challenges that you face when you get negative comments or hate comments or things like that. And it's taken years to build up a thick skin to that kind of thing, because it's really hard to just have a random person on the internet commenting on your appearance or whatever it is that's your content, your ideas, your songs. So I think, like Austin said, it's important to keep close loved ones and friends and family and God close to your heart because they're the ones that truly matter at the end of the day, not these people that out there that don't know who you are as a person. So, but it's hard work to look past some of those things, and you just try to get better at it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I've also had those experiences with comments just kind of
Yeah.
picking apart like every part of you that is not fun.
Right.
Um but yeah, like working to not let it bother you or get under your skin.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you, Maya, don't ever listen to those because you're awesome.
Oh, thank you. And I hate that. I don't like that you guys are like get those kinds of comments either because I think your content is so fun and I think you guys are awesome.
Well,
So,
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Maya.
so much. The
And
truth is,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, the truth is, there's a lot of people out there that don't like joy and happiness. A lot of times, people that hate on our videos are people that are just like sad and very mad at the world, which is very unfortunate because a lot of our videos, we just try to make people happy. And in, in
And
a in a dark world these days, unfortunately, there's a lot of forces that go against happiness and joy in life. And so,
And we've found when we've responded sometimes to those people, they actually respond like, I actually think this was a good piece of like they actually kind of back up from that, which just goes to show that it's just a lashing out of like, I don't feel good, so I want to try and make somebody else not feel good. And that's I'm sure that they have some stuff that they have to go through as well, and that's okay. And I'll also be clear, 99% of our audience generally is super supportive. It's just we've experienced it enough to think, man, if this is happening to us, and you've heard it from other people, but I can't imagine being like a really young creator just getting started. I just hurt for those individuals because we've been through a lot of life experiences to be able to, work through and get to the point where you understand a little bit more about kind of the weight you need to put in that and how to differentiate kind of who you are from that. But if you're just starting out, I can
especially
see
a
you getting
kid,
really caught up in
some
that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so what is the biggest obstacle you have overcome?
Hmm. Let's see. I think my biggest obstacle that I've overcome is I have been sober for 5 years, and it's been has it been 5 years?
I don't know. I
Four and
was
a
going to
half. I
ask you
should
when
know
that
this, but
anniversary is.
I think it's been 4.5. But a big choice in my life was to give up the alcohol because it was really causing some issues in my life. So I'm very thankful to have the support of friends and family to help me get through that. But my life got so much better once I cut out all the crap like, alcohol. And if anybody out there who's watching this, if you're struggling, just know that it's so much better on the other side when you are clean and free of that demon on your back. Even though it's hard in the beginning, it makes life tremendously better. And so that ultimately has played into our career and everything, obviously, because that would have held things back so much. We definitely wouldn't be here right now. I don't know if I'd be here. So that was the obstacle that I had to get off my back, and I'm very thankful and blessed that I've maintained that. So
Yes,
life is great.
agreed. Colin has always been somebody who's persevered even when things were really hard. Um, and when he made that choice, that was just a really big statement to his determination and perseverance to be the person that he knew he could be, and I knew he could be. And it's been like unbelievable to see him just kind of it truly did feel like it was like a chain and then he cut it off and now he's just flying, which is fantastic. My biggest and I love Colin. He's amazing and it's amazing we've been doing this for so long and we always say not killed each other because statistically speaking, it's not easy to be in business or content creation or artistic things, especially when we're different people. You're always going to have creative, collaborative discussions, and you're not always going to see eye to eye, and you have to find ways to work through those and not, not I don't know, hold harbor things just because somebody thought differently than you or whatever. You got to work through a lot of that, and we've thankfully been able to do that. I'd say one of my biggest obstacles has been, I have a family. I have a wife and a 4-year old and a 8-month old now, and that, especially now, but also this has happened throughout the honestly the entire existence of trying to do this creative venture has always been, I've always felt that, God put it on my heart to do something in this vein. Um, However, when you look at the external world and the things that you need to survive, money, food, things, and you have other people that are relying on you to contribute to that, um, it puts a lot of pressure on, you know, when does pursuing your creative passion become irresponsible, and not, respecting other people essentially, right? And having to really um just really weigh the decisions I make, but also, you know, if I really believed it, stay true to it. It's only been about this past, couple years, Maya, over doing this for so long that we've finally been able to really see some pathways to grow in an effective way that we believe that we can hopefully continue doing this for a long time. But that's just been a lot of hard conversations along the way, and I've been thankful to have um, a wife who's very different than me, but also, knew who I was when she married me and has been able to be, although we've had to have hard conversations and although I'm more risk adverse and she's less risk adverse, we've been able to walk through those together. And I mean, there's a lot of females that I think probably might have had harder conversations with me or tried to keep me from doing this, and she has never told me to stop. And so that's been a big blessing in my life, and also just a challenging one because, as much as I want to see this thing fly, I also, deeply care about my family and the people that are close to me, and I want to, you know, make sure that I don't make irresponsible decisions along the way. And so we've had a lot of time and thought and energy into doing what is fun and creative and artistic, but also how can we make this work so that we can actually do this in a responsible way for the future, you know?
Financially.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And Colin, congratulations. I mean that's amazing to
Thank
hear.
you so
So,
much. Thank you. Life is great.
yeah. Yeah. Um so if you had a reality TV show about your life, what would your theme song be?
Hmm. I'll be there
I
for
think
you.
I think
Let's see.
it's a song called Bang on the Drum by Todd
Hmm.
Run. What's it? Todd what?
Uh, I'm looking it up. Bang on the drum
Todd
by
Rundgren. And have you
uh
heard?
Rundgren. Yeah, Rundgren.
Because I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drum all day. And
That's fun.
it's more than just the words. It's got some other meaning in our lives, but essentially every time that we've played that song, the goal is to just kind of lose anything that's holding you down and just dance and act crazy and just let it all go, I guess I'll say. But it's been kind of a theme song throughout some of our major experiences in life, and I just think that one always makes me smile. And no matter what I'm doing, if the song is played, I'm like, it's time to dance. It's time to be present, right? I mean, that's kind of the anything that can keep you in the present moment and understand the preciousness of life as it is now and not in your head in the future or in the past is a
Hmm.
special thing. So.
That's a good answer.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Yeah, I've always I feel like I one of my favorite songs is Take Care of Yourself by Macy Peters. So
Mm,
I feel like maybe that's a song. I am just obsessed with that one.
I'll look
What's
him
the
up.
premise of the song?
It's telling it's like her telling somebody that she sees how hard that like how hard they make things on themselves and that they're always taking care of everybody else.
Hmm.
And so to take care of themselves.
Hmm.
Um and I don't know, her words are always so powerful, and I think that song is so powerful and
All
I
right.
love it.
I
So
posted that.
I love that. Macy Peters, is that the
yeah.
Macy Peters?
Yes.
I guess I
Yeah.
didn't answer this question yet. I'm gonna say Only in Dreams by Weezer. I'm
Oh,
a big believer in dreams and always having a dream in your head because you gotta have something that you're always fighting for every day. Um,
yeah.
that's the song. Back in high school, me and Austin had a song called Dreamin' because we've always been dreaming of some goal in our mind, and we've always had this like true North Star that's like we have this vision and I kind of feel like we're living it right now. We love to be up on stages in front of thousands of people, but in a way, we're kind of on stages on social media, and I feel like we're living the dream right now. It's great.
Colin penned a famous line in that said, "Even though I am awake, it's like I'm sleeping. That's because
Keep
still
on dreaming.
I'm still dreaming,
That's
or
because I just keep on dreaming.
that's because
Hey,
I just keep on
dreaming.
dreaming,
Hey, yeah,
dreaming in."
yep,
Yes.
that's it. Which is not on Spotify, but it should be. I don't even know where the
We'll
song
remix it one day with
probably
Jonas Brothers and release it.
and MGK it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. Yeah, I love Weezer. So
Hey, love
I
Wizard.
yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
best of all time.
Yeah. Um what are people surprised to learn about you?
Hmm,
Hmm.
good question.
Uh-oh.
I think
Hmm.
people are surprised to learn that I'm a socially anxious person. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I'll go with that. I would say most people would not say that I'm anxious or socially anxious because we're performers or we're on camera all the time, but I still struggle with it all the time. And so now that I don't drink anymore, I try to find healthy ways to deal with that, such as exercise, eating healthy, and all sorts of things like that. But I'd still say every day is kind of a struggle to get things moving because I am an anxious person, um, and so a lot of times I have to do everything in my power to keep the ball rolling and take risks and not be afraid to get into situations because of a negative outcome that I have in my head. And so, exercising, eating healthy, medication, therapy, all those things, and healthy alternatives to easy ways to shut off your brain to scary things and fears in life, such as alcohol or drugs. Um, so that's my answer. And then I would also say that people probably don't know I can balance things on my nose, such as pencils and
Can
drumsticks.
also you can also draw Homer Simpson
And I
pretty
could
well.
draw Homer Simpson on just about anything, such as
Mm.
receipts.
Yes. Um, that's a great answer. I think that most people, just from an outsider's perspective, probably wouldn't know how deeply and intently I think about and maybe overthink about the fun stuff that we create and how, like, I guess, tactful or just the time that's spent in trying to make something that's going to make, connect with people. Um, I mean, we recently did a video and I had we made the whole thing and then I told Colin over the weekend 'cause I could not stop thinking about it that I felt like we should change the entire beat behind the song. And that was like a whole 2 day affair that we didn't even, you know, talk to the people that we were working with. And long story short, it was all a very meticulously thought out reason why I thought we should change the beat. But in reality, it's just a fun video. And so, I guess the point is that sometimes from the outside you could think like, those guys just have fun every day and do whatever, which I'm not saying. I feel very blessed to have the opportunity to continue doing this. But I really do think about what's the best way that this can connect with people and what's the best way to communicate a message that's going to be one that is a positive one and creates, positive impact on the world.
Austin is extremely meticulous with his thought process for have you seen our songs for cities by any chance?
Yeah, I
Uh,
have.
Whenever we do a city, like Austin's brain, like I've tried to attempt writing those in my head, but Austin for some reason was blessed with the ability to take a ridiculous amount of information about a city and distill it down to a minute long song. And there's a like a massive spider web of a thought process that goes behind it that I can't even begin to start creating. So he was blessed with a brain that is able to do that.
I think it stems back to that curiosity with people and what drives them. And so like I feel like I have a little bit of a beat on what people put weight on or would connect with. And so the whole process is taking like 100 or 150 different things that could be put in this and distilling it, discerning which things should be put in it, and then having to craft that into a cohesive story, which it's not always in when you start with it, right?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I can definitely relate to overthinking. Um I uh yeah, my mom will just like ask me a simple question and I'll answer it and then I'll just start thinking about it more and more and my mom will just be like, "Don't overthink this." I'm like, "But I'm so good at it." So
Yeah. I know it's hard not to overthink sometimes, but
yeah.
sometimes your gut reaction is what's the right way to go, you know.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Um, so is there someone who without fail always makes you laugh?
I'm gonna say he's not alive anymore, but Chris Farley was always one of my I think he is my favorite actor and comedian, Chris Farley. I've got a t-shirt with his face on it. I don't know if you've seen his movies like Tommy Boy, Black Sheep.
Mhm.
Um,
So good.
he's a legend. And he has a really sad story about his addictions, but anybody that's around, his whole goal in life is just to make people smile and laugh. And that was like his life force. And love Chris Farley. He's one of the greatest.
I think I think I'll say my brother. He's honestly, it's like it feels like when you're in, when you have siblings, everyone gets certain parts of things. I think he, from a naturally like funny perspective or entertaining perspective, has by far the most in the family. Um, so I feel like hopefully I get to put in we've put him in some videos in the past. Hopefully we get to do that more in the future, but he never fails to make me laugh and I think anyone that he comes in contact with, he's got a natural ability to just be super funny and entertaining and has incredible facial expressions.
He is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, I have, there's so many people like my mom and my sister. Whenever all three of us are together, we're just like laughing nonstop.
Yeah.
Um, and then there's so many comedians. I mean, one of my friends, John Rudnitsky, he always makes me laugh.
Hmm.
Um, and so I always love watching all his videos on social media because
Nice.
they always make me laugh.
Yeah.
What's his name?
John Rudnitsky.
John Rednitsky. I need to, I'll write it down so I can look it up later.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's also he's in one of my all-time favorite movies. It's called Home Again, and it's a rom-com with Reese Witherspoon.
Nice.
Yeah, I interviewed him in it was like 2020, I think. And then we just like I met him when he was in Denver, and then we've just stayed in touch. And he's the nicest guy, and he's hilarious. And Home Again, I have seen like I think at this point it's like over 100 times. So it's
That's
my
awesome.
one of my comfort movies. So
That's that's fantastic. That's cool. You got him on the podcast.
yeah,
Pretty big name. That's awesome.
yeah, yeah. It was really really cool. And now I just love talking with him. He's just like the nicest guy. So
Great.
That's fantastic.
yeah. So what genre of movie would your life story be told as?
Hmm.
Hmm.
It'd be, I think it'd be a comedy drama, maybe like a Judd Apatow movie, kind of like uh maybe a super bad or knocked up or something like where they're kind of rooted in some realism, but there's a lot of comedy too, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna say comedy drama with a
I'm gonna
little bit
say I'm gonna say mockumentary.
mm, that's good.
I don't, I just, maybe it's
Like
just because
Miami.
I like mockumentaries or it's a play off me liking documentaries, but
I like that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. I've always wanted my life story to be both a musical and a rom-com.
musical's good.
So,
I
yeah,
like that.
that's my dream, a musical rom-com.
Maya the musical.
Kind of like La La Land.
Mm,
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Except La La Land wasn't really a comedy.
Yeah, that was more
But
that's true.
sad drama kind of. It's
yeah.
kind of a sad story to be honest, but
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, kind of like maybe The Prom, because that's another one of my favorite movies. So,
The
Mm,
Prom,
the
yeah.
prom.
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Okay.
All right.
And yeah, that's another one of my favorites.
I got some things to look up after
I know, me
this.
too.
Yeah.
I'm
And
definitely gonna watch that.
yes, once you watch The Prom and Home Again, I would love to know what you think.
Okay,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Um, so what subject could you give a TED Talk on, even though you're totally unqualified on that subject?
Oh my gosh, I would give this is a weird answer, but I would give a TED talk about gastrointestinal disorders because I've been dealing with a stomach issue that's been going on for years and years, and I have done thousands of hours of research trying to diagnose myself in so many ways, and I've seen so many doctors and things. And I'm also just a very curious person, so I've learned a lot about acid reflux and
Mm.
and certain disorders of the stomach. And I almost like to consider myself somewhat of an expert at this point, even though doctors would say you are absolutely not an expert on this subject.
Let
I
me
mean,
ask you, let
But an
me ask
interesting
you,
answer.
no, that's a great answer, Colin. He's now let me ask you this. Is this being unqualified, meaning like you don't have the official
Like you maybe
like
didn't go to school for it or
yeah, you
something.
didn't go to school
yeah.
for it, but you still could, or is it one that you just want to get up and just BS the whole thing?
could be either.
I'm gonna give a TED Talk on the beautiful uh, life of Maya.
Mm,
I am very unqualified because we have 1 hour of conversation, but I think I can make a pretty compelling TED Talk
I think that would be one of the top viewed TED Talks.
of the top viewed of all time.
Yeah.
And in the middle of it, I will be performing the unwritten Maya the musical
Mm.
first opening theme.
And it's funny too.
It is funny.
Wow.
It's and yeah, the only thing I can think of off the top of my head is I'm gonna have to rhyme papaya with Maya.
Papaya. Yeah.
Yeah. Maya, sweet as a papaya, you know.
Um,
That's what we got
look,
for now. That's the opener, but I'll flesh it out a little more.
well, you wouldn't be a liar if you were, yeah, you wouldn't be a liar.
You wouldn't be a liar, but and she won't leave you crying, but she's
Maya, sweet as papaya.
uh you might think that she would say she's in love with MGK, but you know, that's it. Okay, that's it. I'll
That's
stop.
pretty good.
Thanks. I think we should run with that.
That was
Yeah,
good.
I like that.
Oh, see, we're already in. See, I
Well,
already convinced the one person that TED Talk was about that I could give
I
it.
guess you are. I guess you are qualified then.
I guess I am. I guess I'm qualified.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'd be interested to see both those TED Talks. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Colin, is Colin gonna open with his or close?
Mine's not going to be very funny, that's for sure. But it could be musical. We'll
I
see.
guess he should open it up with just, "Hi, I'm Colin. This is the gastrointestinal TED
Yeah.
Talk."
You've probably never heard of SIBO or the ileocecal valve, but let me tell you exactly what that is and why it's important.
Hmm. I tell you
Yeah.
what, I feel like we all could relate to having some problems with our ileocecal valves.
hmm It's the opening between the small intestine and the large intestine.
Oh, okay,
And
good.
if it's dysfunctional, it can create a backup of bacteria into the small intestine. Anyway,
I take it
that
most
is
people haven't seen your ileocecal valve.
you'd have to cut me open to see that. That's for sure.
well, thank you for saying what that was because I was very confused for a second.
I
Well,
know.
I was
So
like,
yeah,
I don't know any of the words you guys are saying right now. So,
it's okay. I'll put the TED Talk together later on a green screen in my bedroom, and then we'll get it all sorted out.
okay.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah. Um, so what personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Mm, you know, I could probably answer for Austin. No, I'm just kidding. I I think after a certain amount of socializing, there's just a point where my social battery just shuts off and I just stop talking. And I think people think that I'm don't love them or I'm not interested. But at the end of the day, I'm an introvert at heart. And after a certain amount of socializing, I just shut down to an extent. And I'm like, I need to be at home by myself. And it could
Watch.
it could take 3 hours, it could take 30 minutes, but uh it happens. And people might go, oh, he's ready to go home, isn't he? And I'm like, I just have a small social battery.
Yeah, he's ready to
That's
watch Home Again several times.
and the prom. Yeah.
Yeah, in the prom.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think I know where Colin was going, but I think this kind of goes hand in hand. Honestly, it's just, well, it's maybe two pronged. No, no, honestly, it's just sometimes I can't help but say that one extra thing that I think is either funny or
Joke, yeah.
gets an extra point across or whatever. Sometimes I just can't. I'm like, I got to keep this going. It's just too good. And then sometimes maybe that gets me in trouble in some ways.
Playful
But it's always
banter.
it's never done out of maliciousness, but It's always done because I think it's either funny or whatever. But sometimes in my life, I've said it and I don't think the other person thought it was funny.
Like if he might poke fun in a fun and playful banter type way, but if the person takes it legitimately or seriously, you might have an issue on your hands.
Oh, yeah. And I'll actually expound upon that. Colin and I find a lot of joy in awkward humor, meaning like long pauses or saying things that no one would have the answer to. And sometimes I forget that if you don't know me, you would be maybe confused as to why I would say something that would create an awkward situation, which I think is funny. But if you're new to this or new to me, you might go, why would he say that?
You might be taken back. Yeah.
Taken back and not know how to respond because you're not sure if I'm serious or not. And a lot of times I would not be, but you might think I was. That's what I got.
Mm. Yeah, I that just what made me think of like my best friend is he and I are like very sarcastic with each other, but he's very sarcastic and will be like totally deadpan that I can't always tell
Right.
when he's being sarcastic.
Right.
Yeah.
So he'll just be saying something and I have to ask him. I'm like,
Yeah.
are you being serious right now?
Yeah.
And sometimes
Yep.
he'll just keep going with it. He'll be like, yeah, I'm being dead serious.
Yep.
I'll try to go along with it, and then he's just like, no, I'm just kidding. I'm,
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes you can't tell.
Sometimes
yeah,
you
Tricky.
just can't.
yeah. Um, so I just have one more question for you. So I love inspiring and motivational quotes, and this week my favorite quotation is by Colette Weirden. And it's okay if you fall down and lose your spark. Just make sure that when you get back up, you rise as the whole damn fire. Um,
I
is
like
there
that.
a
Hmm.
quotation that has inspired you lately?
You know, I forget who said this, but they said if you're going through hell, keep going.
I think it was the All-American Rejects.
Was it?
When you see oh, sorry, never mind.
Wait, if you're going through
That
hell,
was a joke. That was not them.
um, I think that was it Rodney Atkin? No, that was sorry, that was Winston Churchill. Sorry, that's it. He said if you're going through hell, keep going, and if you're going through a tough time, accept it and keep moving forward because no matter how hard it gets, there's always something inside of you that can keep you pushing forward. So be strong. Have the will.
Um, that's great, Colin.
Thank you.
Um, I don't know where this it was okay. I I'm trying to read my Bible more. I haven't been a diligent Bible reader, but I did read it today, so it's a great day to ask. Although I would butcher it if I tried to quote it, but it was in the Sermon on the Mount and Jesus is talking, which actually if you actually sometimes you kind of forget that this if you believe in Jesus that it's like a real person giving a speech and it's actually a pretty compelling speech, but anyway, it's reassuring when you're worrying, at least for somebody coming from a foundation of, believing in a God who does care and have a plan for you that it's like he's taking care of the birds, he's taking care of all these things. Do you not believe that he would take care of you, and provide for you? Um, and so basically don't worry, don't be afraid. Like it's taken care of. And I think sometimes I lose focus on worrying about things when I should just focus on loving people better. And because I think that's what we were kind of called to do. So that's one quote that at least impacted me this morning. And then secondarily, my buddy Landry, he used to always say this, and I loved it, and I used it recently with one of our videos, but it's ships are safe at harbor, but that's not what ships are made for.
It's great.
And that's one's always just kind of been like, you know, for us, when we try to do something that we haven't done before or venturing into uncharted territory, it's always encouraging because it's like, yeah, you can sit on this boat right here, and it's a nice boat, but like, boats are made to go out into the open seas and explore, and that's what I think we try to do with our content, and that's the way I kind of want to live my life.
Yeah. I have one more.
Oh,
Nike,
he's adding.
Nike, just do it.
Oh, wow.
It's a great, I mean, it's doesn't get simpler than that. If you want to do something, you just got to do it. And then,
Colin, did you chat GPT the best motivational?
no. Uh, my mom also used to always say, "This too shall pass," and that's
Didn't
it's a great
Gandalf say
quote.
that?
Who?
Gandalf? Or
I
did
think Abraham Lincoln coined the
oh,
phrase, but I do believe there as it has ties to it back in the Bible. But no matter what hardship you're going through, it will pass, and
hmm.
you just got to keep pushing forward.
Yeah. Oh, I love those.
I liked yours, honestly.
Yeah, yours is better. Yours is the best.
I like that it had some, emphaticness at the end. So
Mhm.
it was, you can lose your spark.
Yeah,
What is,
it's okay if you fall down and lose your spark. Just make sure that when you get back up, you rise as the whole damn fire.
I like that.
I feel like you need to clip that with like that little clip of that guy in the roast battle where everyone goes, oh, like it feels like
Yeah,
it needs one of those enders.
yeah,
Thanks for sharing that,
yeah.
Maya. That's
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, thank you for sharing yours. I love them. Um, and thank you so much for joining me. I've had the best time talking with you. You've made my day.
Oh
Oh,
my gosh, you made our
absolutely.
day.
You have made
Wow.
our day. We don't normally get to it was almost a little therapy session for us to go a little bit deeper and talk about some of these things. So, man, I appreciate you for being who you are, being such a positive light, and allowing us to share some of our stories and valuing kind of what we do and who we are enough to ask those questions. Um, and you do owe me an email with the things that you have learned the most about in your life because I want to glean that from you. I know you have an amazing story to tell, and maybe we should do a podcast about your life someday.
I will write a reminder to send you an email. So,
All right.
yeah,
And where are you located? We've got to meet up at some point, somehow.
yeah. I'm in Colorado.
All right.
Nice.
Denver specifically.
Yes. Yeah, a Centennial, so a suburb of Denver.
Okay.
Okay, I'll see if I can book a gastrointestinal TED Talk there and then get Colin.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks for reaching out. And, we wish more people would do it, and we're so thankful that you did. And your story is very inspiring, and I had a lot of fun. We had a great time.
Hey, Maya, it's okay if you fall down and lose your spark, but just make sure when you come back, you bring the whole damn fire.
That's right. I don't know where you heard that quote, but that's pretty
I
amazing.
don't know, it just popped into my head.
That's that's
Yeah, thank
Wow.
you.
Yes.
Yeah. I've
No,
never heard that before. I love
that's
it.
another, but there was an example of me probably, I probably should have just cut the podcast off, but I just went with that. And it's kind of like, you're like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Um, well, yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.
You too, Maya. We
you,
will
Maya.
hopefully see you in real life at some point soon.
Yes, I would
All right.
love that.
Sounds good. Have a good rest of
Yeah.
your night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the latest with Maya.